Hi, my name is Tania Pina, and I'm the founder and CEO of Nuble. We're excited to show you how Nuble, a New York based company already deeply rooted in Rochester, will be a profitable solution to reduce food waste and help decarbonize New York State. Renewable uses organic cycling science and proprietary technology to convert food waste into water soluble organic hydroponic nutrients for specialty crop indoor farms. Due to strong demand, we have $2 million worth of pre orders lined up. Let me show you why. We've spent years speaking to indoor farms growing in soilless systems, producing specialty crops such as leafy greens, tomatoes, and berries. They've struggled to find an affordable way to grow using organic nutrients that allow them to produce comparable yields to conventional fertilizers without the risk of encountering foodborne pathogens such as E. coli. Organic nutrients are known to wreak havoc in indoor farms, causing biofilm, as you see here. They attract pests, they clog their systems, and they're highly variable in terms of pH and EC readings, which lead to higher costs to manage. Our organic cycling science allows us to, within 48 hours, and not the status quo of 7 to 10 days, quickly unlock organic nitrogen compounds, as well as a full spectrum of micronutrients and vitamins, so that plants can efficiently uptake these nutrients in ways that are compatible with these farms' sterile systems. Stanley, shown here as a real customer, we've changed his name for confidentiality. Stanley currently uses conventional fertilizers to grow his tomatoes and leafy greens in Virginia. Stanley can now grow using our solution that will increase his ROI by at least 15% by using our Away We Go product with comparable precision and yields as he would experience with his conventional fertilizers, and with the peace of mind of the following benefits. One is we can provide a product that's price parity to his conventional fertilizers. He can achieve comparable yields to the status quo, have a stronger brand story for his buyers by consuming less fertilizer and water because he no longer has to dump his water every 2 to 3 weeks, grow in the organic produce category, which means he can obtain additional margins by up to 66 to 82%. And most of all, we won't clog his system. The overwhelming positive feedback received from indoor farms has been that our solution aligns with their farm's brand story. We help them meet their buyers' needs, such as Kroger's or Whole Foods, for their demand of organically grown produce with a significantly reduced carbon footprint. And they're also attracted by the savings in costs. Our control lab test results are promising, and they're demonstrating the following: that an increase of at least 15% was experienced in our butterhead leafy lettuce case study. We also were able to prove 15% savings in long-term fertilizer usage, 20% savings in water, comparable yields while requiring much less nitrate levels, and shown that we can achieve this without having to dump the water, again, every 2 to 3 weeks. And by the success of this product, we anticipate reaching profitability within less than 12 months. Renewable is a sound company that sources free and consistent raw material from New York's food supply chain. We not only bring value to indoor farms, but we're also responding to a need for more efficient and localized supply chain by bringing value to both food manufacturers and producers that often produce 20 million tons of food waste across the USA per year. Renewable is able to be a cost-effective food waste processing model, whereby we can operate within close proximity to these food processors and distributors and supporting the growth of local economies. We receive their unrecoverable waste from our national or hauling logistics partner for free and have it transported to our facility, where we then turn it into Away We Grow within 24 hours. We're adding value at both ends of the market in a 100% closed loop manner at our facility. We're unique because of our intellectual property and the efficiencies within our process that allows us to transfer savings to our customers. So our Way We Grow product is price parity to conventional fertilizers. It has the ability to increase the profit margins of our farms. It helps them save water. We can also reduce their nitrate levels, thereby reducing their fertilizer usage requirements. It doesn't clog their system. We're using a renewable closed loop waste streams, which is produce waste from our local region. It's OMRI certifiable, and we have IP that is scalable beyond this initial product. Now, the consumer demand for more nutrient dense, organic, and sustainably grown produce is here to stay. In the US, which is valued at $50 billion, up from 4.6% from last year. The total addressable market for organic fertilizer is $15 billion dollars with a CAGR of 13%. Its serviceable market is $5 billion dollars worth of annual recurring revenue here in the US, and Renewable's immediate share of this market is $125 million, dollars, selling to our beachhead market of specialty crops growing in indoor farms in the Northeast. And that's not even counting the related market of being able to sell to field farms afterwards. We currently have healthy initial gross margin of 55% per gallon of Away We Grow sold. As we scale, we have the ability to increase this to 80%. And we're going to spend it on over delivering on sales, marketing, and R&D in order to quickly serve customers currently waiting for our product. We sell using a recurring revenue model, which is business to business, direct to farms, and exemplary farms such as Gotham Greens and Mox Greenhouse and Farms, as well as through distributors and resellers, such as our relationship with American Hydroponics. To give a sense of our target client list, we only require 14 acres of farm clients to reach our 12-month target. That is roughly between 5 to 6 clients to achieve $2 million in annual recurring revenue for Renewable. Our growth in customer acquisition to date has been largely attributed to free marketing channels, email newsletters, word of mouth, and referrals. Now, within the next 12 months, we are on target to reach $2 million in gross revenue. And in 2022, that number will be $5 million. Throughout this time, we will also be selling direct to farms and through 6 channel partners while diverting over 1,500 tons of food waste, which is an equivalent of 4,500 tons of CO2 removed from the atmosphere. Thanks to GrowNY, we were able to identify 3 potential large enterprise farms to sell to and 2 potential strategic partners within the GrowNY region. For our main manufacturing hub in Rochester, we expect to create 113 direct and indirect hires for high-quality jobs related to agricultural science, manufacturing, and sales within 24 months. Through regional suppliers and partners such as Organics and Bonduelle, we're able to create even more jobs from food waste hauling to processing as well as distribution. By helping indoor farms grow organically and improving their profitability, we can also create more hires. We've assembled an amazing team, having bootstrapped on only $1.6 million to date, and we are growing. We have closed $2 million in secured pilots, reduced our manufacturing costs by at least 60%, and have developed 3 new technologies despite COVID. Led by a sustainability practitioner, a serial entrepreneur, an agronomist with a PhD, a plant scientist tinkerer, a manufacturing turnkey expert, and an international business strategist, all with at least 50 years of combined experience, we know how to be incredibly resilient and resourceful and stretch the dollar in more ways than our grandparents ever knew how to. And we're supported by a board of advisors that have been with our founding team since 2015. Between 2016 and 2019, we've been focused exclusively on product market fit and have adapted to COVID quite prudently, reducing our costs significantly. Just recently, we've closed our seed round with several VCs and angels, and we have introduced our new technology, which is our on-site food waste recovery system, allowing us to get 2 pilots with 2 pretty large and visible farms here in the US. And having prospected at least 284 farms and negotiated with 3 resellers and distributors, we have a clear growth path to achieve profitability within 12 months and will be able to scale beyond New York. Now, if I can leave you anything today, I'd love to leave you with the following. Our environmentally friendly but highly scalable solution provides a cost-competitive agricultural input delivering more value for farms. We have removed the technical challenges preventing indoor farms from growing organically, and we've also opened up opportunities for conventional farms to grow using less inputs. Our triple bottom line, zero waste manufacturing model helps New York achieve its decarbonization goals. And given the strong customer response for our solutions, we anticipate reaching profitability by the end of 2001, and we have distribution partnerships to scale this globally at an accelerated rate. We look forward to working with you, and I'm happy to take your questions afterwards. Thank you.
Great job, Tania and Renewable. So we have 10 minutes for Q&A. Over to our judge panel, and I think we have Pravina Raghavan with a question first.
Hi, Tania. It's good to see you again. So my first question is, you went through it quickly on the slide presentation, but what has been the big pivot since the last time we've seen you, or several pivots?
Yeah, so COVID forced us to really redesign our manufacturing process. And in the last 6 months, we had to also redesign how our product was made. So that thereby we reduced our manufacturing costs by 60%. And we still were able to keep our all in facility costs from 1 year of overhead as well as the CapEx to within $550,000. So the pivot allowed us to reduce in-house processing costs, develop two new technologies, one of them of which I mentioned, which is the on-site food waste recovery system, and really accelerate customer development. You know, where we're at right now is we've had to decelerate on the sales and business development side because we have a queue of customers waiting for the product. We really just wanted to spend the time and ideally increase our people capacity with more hires to make sure that the product works accordingly in all system types within the indoor farming market.
It's great. So you teed up my next question, which is, what are your plans with the prize money? So if you, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are.
Absolutely. So for the $250,000, that's to go towards immediate direct hires. So what we realized also in the last 3 months is the wastewater that's a byproduct of our processing also introduced a new product within the cleaning solution, hand sanitizer. So that commodity allowed us to really kind of, again, from a free raw material, be able to sell a higher margin product. So those hires are needed for this ancillary revenue stream and also to accelerate our R&D. On the $500,000, we would be able to accelerate, and I should say also is relevant for the $1 million prize, accelerate our current technology, which is focused on indoor farming, and allow for pilots for field agriculture. Because the benefit within our product is we've reduced the price per pound of nitrogen. And not that all fertilizer is only evaluated based on nitrogen, but a lot of farms focus on that by 65%. And we want to be able to show that value for traditional soil farms as well.
Great. And then my final question before I turn it over is, what's the status of your Rochester manufacturing facility?
Good question. So the status is we should be basically in operation by early December. Because of COVID, again, we had to really put a halt, redesign the selection of the equipment that we are working with. But since then, we've been basically manufacturing our product in small volume throughout different locations within New York. So hopefully you'll be able to attend our NYSERDA ribbon cutting that'll happen either December or January.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to turn it over to the other judges.
Thank you, Pravina. Zoe Feldman, I think you're up next.
Indeed. Thank you, Tania. This is very, very interesting. I have one main question for you. So I did a little bit of research on the business, and I saw your team slide, but I see that you founded this 2015, 2016. So can you kind of walk us through not kind of what's happened since then, because you spelled it out beautifully on the slide, but what was your impetus for creating this business? And, why are you passionate about this, and why this, which is pretty specific in particular?
I appreciate that, because there's always a conflict in how much time we have to be able to tell our personal connection. And so I started this because I saw in a pro bono kind of teaching capacity in Harlem how kids were eating for a prep SAT program that I was leading on Saturday mornings. So it was really prudent that we needed their attention and the productivity so that I can help show success outcomes, which is doing well in those tests. And a lot of the times it came down to having highly processed and fried foods. And that nutrition gap really dictates, how well someone is going to do in their future because of what they can retain in information and be productive. So realizing in New York City at that time, we were exporting food waste of roughly $77 million at a cost to the city. I realized that if we can help more farms, indoor as well as outdoor, be able to grow organically or using less conventional chemicals to do so, we can take this renewable waste stream and allow that to be a mechanism so that more farms can grow using less or zero chemicals and downstream allow more of these underserved communities and hopefully all communities be able to afford sustainably and organically grown food.
Cool. Thanks so much, Zoe. Laura Peterson, you're up next.
Hi, it's nice to see you again this year. I really like the idea of taking these wastes from processing plants and reusing them in a sustainable way. I think that's a great idea. And I understand that you do have the Omni certification for the product, but are the soilless greenhouses able to get certified as organically grown produce? As I understood it, soilless growing was not always considered organic, certifiable organic in many cases. Are they able to get that certification?
Good question. So universally, we haven't seen more farms receive that certification. It's been depending on the certifier. The good thing with our positioning of our product is it's been getting attraction from both conventional grown produce suppliers as well as organic. And we don't limit ourselves just to those seeking the organic certification, because to be quite honest with you, there was one prospective customer that didn't want to have the annual USDA organic compliance costs that came with that. So they wanted to be able to show that, through their meeting similar or if not commensurate growing protocols as organic certified farmers, but they'd rather just not, get certified to avert that cost.
So you feel like your new production methods would make your product competitive with the current organic fertilizer that farmers who are either growing in the field or in a greenhouse with soil would be able to afford to use your product compared to what they're currently using?
So absolutely in the soil. And the reason why we focus so tightly on the indoor farm is because there hasn't been a product category leader in the organic hydroponic nutrient space. And so you may have seen the reference of preempt, and sometimes some farms are using hydrolyzed chicken litter or even compost tea. The problem with those other alternatives, which are incumbents, is that either they've been too high in sodium, which has caused plant toxicity. The consistency of how the products are made is an issue, and also the availability. And again, also leading to the price per pound of nitrogen that is costly for organic products. So we're really acutely focused on serving that need for indoor farms and absolutely translating that value to the soil farms as well.
Okay, thank you.
Great job. Thanks, Laura. Andrew Rose, you're up next.
Indeed. Today, it is good seeing you again. I first crossed your path last year at this same event, and then in January down in Texas for the Farm Bureau. So this is wonderful, following the arc of your business career. This is just the premise of why you started this in the first place. I mean, it really pulls at the heartstrings. A question for you, however, your raw material, the waste that you're collecting now, you're getting basically for free. And I would imagine there are some stipends that are offered to you as well to move it to your facilities. I like the fact that you're looking at putting machines or some sort of processing at the point of the waste being produced. Is part of your financial model, though, having to pay for that free commodity at this point? And is there a price sharing built into your model as well with whoever it is that's generating these food wastes?
So it's interesting because we always go into the conversation of, okay, what is the potential risk and how much would that risk be with food waste suppliers? So the national hauler that we work with, that works with 82% of supermarkets and large food waste generators that we're exclusively focused on, they have 82% of the country's accounts. They weren't interested in having us pay for the food waste, even securing that or within a 5-year time frame. And that's just because of the abundance of the waste that they're receiving. And I'm sure COVID accelerated that or made that more abundant. There's certainly an opportunity to do a cost share with them, but they are more interested in just logistics efficiencies and mastering that and providing more sustainable off-takers. And that's the value that they were keenly focused on with us.
Great. Thanks so much. Any very short questions from our panel of judges? Hearing none, I think we're going to say thank you very much, Tania. Awesome job. Good luck.